Hi, I'm Construction Gamer, and this is the UK Northern Powerhouse on Transport Fever 2. This is going to be episode number 10 in the series, and in this episode we're going to be building some of the West Coast Main Line. Probably won't get it all finished in one episode like we did the East Coast Main Line. That was a pretty quick build, that right from the Darlington right down to Grantham, but the West Coast Main Line, got to lavish a little bit more attention on it. Trying to get it right. I have already rebuilt one of the junctions from the previous episode, and I will be revisiting the East Coast Main Line, so that won't be forgotten about. But I think starting from now, I'm going to try and pay a little bit more attention to the junctions. So this junction we're approaching now is Earlstown, or Newton the Willows junction, and obviously this is coming from the West Coast Main Line onto the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. And as you'll see, it's all nice and flat. I've done a little bit of painting as well to make it look a bit nicer, and yeah, put that chord in there from the West Coast Main Line, which we're just crossing now. And now we're going in the direction of Chester, and that Manchester even, and that section to the left goes off to the northbound West Coast Main Line. Still sticking with semaphore signals for now, because I'm not entirely sure when we started with electronic signals, but we are only in 1947, so I don't really have to start worrying about that too much. But yeah, you can see here the junction. So we've got Warrington Bank Quay, and then we've got the cord that goes off to the Liverpool Manchester Railway, and then the little bit that goes off the West Coast Main Line off towards Wigan. I have done quite a lot of work actually. This was supposed to be an episode, but I will admit that something went wrong with the footage. So episode 10 is instead going to be the extension south down towards Crewe. So you've got this bridge. This bridge is massively out of scale over the River Mersey, coming out of Warrington. But we've got the West Coast Main Line comes down here. I think in real life it switches over before it gets to Warrington, so if you're heading on the up lines, it'd switch over onto this line, which kind of goes underneath the Manchester and Chester Railway line. But instead I've done it on this bridge here, so I've done this slip junction. So you've got the Manchester-Chester trains come along here, down here, stop at the Warrington Bank Quay, and then they switch over onto this track, which goes off towards Runcorn East. So it's not completely true to life, but it is a bit more realistic than it was before. And I got as far, well, we didn't, because the footage is lost. I got as far down as the junction with the Liverpool branch of the West Coast Main Line, which I have actually been looking at Google Maps with the satellite view on, just to get a feel for these junctions. We're not electrifying them yet, but we are using high-speed track, because I just want to make sure that the speeds that we are using are at least 125 miles per hour. And let's just take a look at that. So that's going to skirt past Hertford on its way to Crewe. I think we are going to have to be the wrong side of Hertford by the looks of it, or possibly, yeah, so this is going to have to start curving in a bit sooner, which is actually not a bad thing, because we want to start getting the junction. Now the junction where the Liverpool branch of the West Coast Main Line meets the core line is grade separated, or a flyover, so that will make things a little bit easier. Where's Crewe? Crewe is there. We want to start pointing in that sort of direction. Bring that down a little bit. So yeah, this is all 2-track going down here. Get rid of that road. This will be a main connection. Yeah, I'll just pause the game a little minute. Get rid of that. Still keep pressing the wrong button for the track. Where's Crewe? Crewe's there. So yeah, we're just going to skirt past Hertford on the wrong side, I think. Now someone in the comments a while ago did comment that I've gone to all the effort of putting in Hertford and probably missed out a load of bigger towns. but the reason I did that is because it's at an important junction on between the West Coast Main Line and the Mid Cheshire Line. So we've got on the West Coast Main Line we'll have Hertford Station. Yeah, that's right. And on the Mid Cheshire Line we will have Green Bank. Yeah, so we are completely the wrong side of Hertford, unfortunately, because Green Bank wants to be on this side. Never mind, we'll put some sort of shuttle in there. So basically we need to sever this link as well. What size? I mean, this is a main line, so I may as well be full size. Get the colour brown. Building size 2, 1. Tracks 2, 2. Now it is a mainline station, but mainline trains won't be calling as it will be the London North Western Railway services call at Hertford, as far as I can remember, on the way down to Birmingham. So they will be maximum of 8 cars, I think. I even think in real life I don't think you ever get an 8-car London to Birmingham services, mostly 4-car, but yeah, we'll leave that there. So that is Hertford, that's the right one. And we will put the road in straight away. Is that down at the same level? Yeah, I want to make sure it's all nice and level. Like I said, I've made the decision to make things a little bit more accurate. I'm not anywhere near the detailing level of Grand T, let's say, but I want things to be a little bit better. I want the junctions to be nice and flat, because I think in this episode we probably will get as far as Crewe, but again, Crewe isn't going to be completely realistic because it is a huge station with many platforms. So chuck that in there. Do a bit of, no, that's that one. Bit of smoothing around there. Now, do we have enough space? I think I'm going to have to curve this. This is the Liverpool branch. Next stop will be Runcorn. I want to keep this speed at least 100. Curve it out a little bit. Slow it down. 125. Bring it up a little bit. And then this one can start deviating off. As far as kind of grade separated or flyover junctions go, this is actually quite compact looking at it. So yeah, 100 into there, comes down a little bit and then goes into back into two track. Let's see how fast we can make. Oh, that's not too bad. 99, 100. That's not too bad for a turnout, I don't think. Turnout speed. And then that into there, and then this wants to come across on a bridge, preferably. Right, so that can go to there. That's got to be, let's just check the speed, 106, slow it down, no, not snap, please don't snap. 100, to about there. And then it can be a bridge. Come on, it can be a bridge. Have to be one of these ugly steel bridges until we get some of the concrete variety. No, we're not having that. And that's gone down to 85 as well. $90, I suppose. It's just about livable. So get rid of that. Can I get rid of that? To about there. 87. Okay then. Right, so 75, 80, 90. And then again we'll try and get as quick a junction in as we possibly can. 90, 92. think that will do. Turn the brush size up, do a bit of smoothing, make it look a bit nicer. It's a bit bigger, a bit more spread out than the one in real life, but yeah, not too unhappy with that. I think it's pretty quick enough as well, and it removes the conflict, any conflict that there would be there. So we need to put this road back in, don't we? So we can unpause the game. We'll put in some country road just across the top. Come on, bridge. And replace like so. Just make sure we get our signals in. Now, I don't know if I want to go with no, we don't. I think what we'll do is when we electrify the line, we will upgrade the signalling at the same time. So we want a signal in there and there, and don't really need anything on the exit, do we? No, just on the entry to the thingy. And we've electrified the station, so we'll get rid of that. I mean, it's not the end of the world, it just looks a bit odd. Like so. Obviously we need to put that. Does that go anywhere? It doesn't really go anywhere, but I will be nice and I will put it back in. Like so. These hideous bridges with only a pillar on one side. What was I doing? Bring that up to about there. Yeah, still only one pillar on one side. It's probably a bit taller than it needs to be as well, but never mind. We will just live with that. Chuck that in there like that. Do a little bit of smoothing. I will come back to this and do a bit more smoothing later on. So that's got to go off to Runcorn at some stage. So we're coming down. Now we're heading in the direction of Crewe. Now Crewe again, I think this is going to be on the wrong side. How much money? We've got 95 million in the bank, so we don't have to worry too much. Keep it paused, and then what we'll do is buildings. 4 tracks, 240 metres long because it's a mainline station. Won't bother high speed catenary, no. Oh, that's going to make it interesting as well. We've got the terrain's on a bit of a hill. Right, so don't worry about the number of platforms for now. Click that. Make this all nice and smooth. We want to give ourselves a good, nice, flat start for the junctions that we are about to build. Now, this is where it starts to get complicated. Like I said, it's not going to be an accurate representation of Crewe, but I do want it to be a little bit there. So get rid of the stations, station buildings. You can go. Keep those as they are. Platforms. Ooh, we've got, what's this? Keeps getting updated all the time. What's that, waiting room? Right, we're keeping it just like a browny colour. Oh, we've got different coloured paving with lines down the middle. Not exactly what I want, to be honest, but we will live with that. Right, so they're going to be the main through platforms, and this is going to be tracks like so. And let's see if it will let us do this. Yeah, I'm not happy with those white lines. Yeah, so that like that. 1, 2. Yeah, Crewe might have to be a little bit longer, like so. Yeah, because we've got 2 tracks. Got a bay platform there, that'll be for the Liverpool to Chester shuttle. Bay platform here for the Shrewsbury to Crewe shuttle. Yeah, we've got 2 through platforms for the Manchester and Liverpool services. And yeah, this is going to be just trying to keep the platform edge away from the track as well. So this is going to be a section of track which goes right round. So this don't think gets used. This will be for the that needs to be a little bit longer. This needs to fit in 8-car London North Western Railway services, so I think that should be long enough. I think I'm going to come back again with the platform. I'm not happy with these, but we'll stick those in there. Pretty sure there is a bay platform in there, but yeah, we will ignore that one because tracks. This section of track is pretty much, I think it's only used by the Crewe to Manchester service, so it terminates here and then turns back, so I think that's alright. It doesn't looks a bit of a mess, I will admit. Actually, we'll take a good look at this thingy-mabob. Platforms, what's that? That's that with a waiting room on. Standard platforms. You know what, I think, what's that, empty? I think I'm going to have to use the standard platforms because I'm just not happy with that white line. It just makes the whole thing look a mess. So trying to remember what I've done. So using the standard platforms, which is a shame, but come on, ready? Passenger platform. Yeah, that's right. So chuck them on there like that. And then get rid of. I don't think we need 2 platforms deep on that one. Oh, come on. Yeah, it does. Computer does not like it when you're messing around with the configuration. I don't think it's had this sort of thing in mind. I don't think. Right, get that in there. No. What? Yeah, I want to get this right first time. It's just a shame there's no blank segments which don't have seats on, because it just looks a bit odd and a bit repetitive with all these different seat configurations on there. But I'm just, yeah, really wouldn't be happy with those having the white lines between platforms. So I'm just going to chuck these in like so. God, yeah, it does take a lot of effort. I think the problem is the system all the time, the game all the time is trying to work out where all the passageways and things are as well, so it's not the most slick of interfaces, I don't think. Right, so we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll have 2 deep for that. Actually, yeah, we will. And Yeah, we will. Yeah, we're not going to have the bay platform there. We're just going to leave that as it is. Chuck them in there. Chuck that on there. It's the only problem, I don't know how big. Yeah, we'll do it on that side. I don't know how big an 8-car London North Western Railway. We're not going to have 350s, I don't think, but there are other electric multiple units we'll be using in the future. What have we got here? UK buildings. So we'll put a nice big building on this side. Did I select the right one? Yes, I did. Yeah. And then we'll stick a smaller. No, we can't stick a smaller anything. Platforms. Will it let me do this? I wonder. Empty. Stick that on there. And that on. No, just back there to there. Then we are going to stick a passenger building, a small one on there. Then we're going for MISC, and we're going for passageways. Now, will these? Did that line up? It's not showing me. It's definitely not showing me any passageways. Let's see if we go back to this. It's not platforms. It's not showing me the same diagram with all the routage. Just not sure if it's particularly happy with that. Maybe. Oh yeah, no, we can see all the different passageways. So we've got a passageway right underneath, which is what we want. It's a bit of a mess, I will admit. No, we don't want to delete the station. Configure. Delete the roof. And finally delete this central platform. Come on. Like so. Platforms. Delete. Platforms. Yeah, like I said, this isn't really accurate. Apart from a couple of the bay platforms, it's not entirely accurate, but we will live with that. So yeah, I think that's like that. Now I wonder if I get rid of that. Get away. Right, click off that. Oh, we've still got, have we? That is a shame. We haven't got a tunnel underneath. It's just severed where there's no platform. So configure platforms. Simple. Now the reason I don't want platforms on both sides is because I don't think it tries to open the doors on both sides. When each one of those will be you'll have two platforms up for only one piece of track, which is why I don't want that. Configure tracks. Chuck those in there like so. And we need this track as well. Don't worry about I'm using different coloured, different high speed and low speed tracks. Just want to get this built for now. Right, back to platforms. Back to that one. So we're going to have to put one there, MISC passageway there. Yeah, unfortunately that is going to be a platform number, but we can bypass that. And then cargo, no, passenger buildings, a nice big passenger building. I know Crewe hasn't really got a big passenger building, to be honest, especially the you know, the station as it is. So is that all connected up? There's a passenger window there. So that will do. Configure MISC. Now I have subscribed to these large classic station roofs, which are a bit strange. What do you do? But Crewe doesn't really have a grand roof, I don't think. It's all just mostly canopies. Have I got to get rid of those little... No, not the track, the girder. But I will be using these. I'll use these at Liverpool, Lime Street, Leeds, Manchester, and whichever other ones. But we'll go for canopies. Brown. So we'll have one right across the top here. Oof, God, this system really is slow and clunky. It is. I mean, it is good. That we can finally configure stations to how we want them, but it's not really the best. I don't think. Get onto there. Yeah, the canopies hide some of the monstrosity a little bit. No, I don't like those things. I don't know why I built those. Get rid of them. And then just stick in some more canopies along here. Makes it look a little bit better, I guess. And we are done. I mean, in real life, Crewe isn't the most attractive looking station anyway, so we will live with that. Now what we need to do is start to figure out how we start to get the tracks in, because coming out the back of Crewe, it doesn't like that station at all, does it? Right, so we'll come out there, stay on the flat, because we've got a couple of junctions to put in, and see if it'll let me. Yes, it will. Join those up. Right, I'm just gonna save the game. I know it takes forever, but the game is just getting a little bit jerky, a little bit clunky, and it's a little bit of a warning that might do something you don't want it to do. So we will save it. Taking about 10 minutes, and then we'll get some of this track in. Are you done yet? Not quite. Come on. It would be nice if there was a little counter or something, or a little bar that showed you that it's still saving. Would be useful. Still. Come on. Oh, right. It had done. Right, chuck that on there. That there. And that is the up line up towards. Ew. Oh my god. Yeah, I built it in the wrong direction, haven't I? I was too busy concentrating on the station and getting it sorted out to get it in the right sort of direction, because we want it pointing towards Stafford. Okie dokie, so I am going to rebuild this station, and then I'm going to do some fancy editing, and we will skip forward because we've spent loads of time on this station already. So I'm going to do this again, and then when you come back we'll be doing something else. Okie dokie, so crisis averted. We can now finally start to get the tracks back in again. The station does look a little bit different from it did before, but it's still pretty much similar sort of arrangement. All I've done is the 4 tracks through the middle, the actual... Right, we're going off towards Stafford. Right, so the two tracks in the middle are now just bypass tracks because some of the I think most of, if not all of, the Manchester services, Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston services actually go bypass Stafford. They don't stop at Crewe. So yeah, we'll keep those like that. Now what we have to do is if we just chuck some straight tracks out, keeping things really level and straight just so the junctions look good or acceptable. Yeah, so that comes out there like that, and that may as well go off towards the Hertford direction because it stays for track from Crewe to about Winsford, and then it goes to two track before reaching Hertford. So we'll just put those out there for now with catenary on for some reason. Yeah, I'll turn it off. It's not the end of the world. It just makes things a little bit confusing. Makes things look a little bit odd when you have steam trains and electrification. So we've got that right now. I think what I'm going to do is just slew straight in. It's not going to be the fastest junction in the world. I think 70. Where is Stockport? Oh, we can actually make it a little bit faster. So these are all just going to come straight in to Crewe like this, which yeah, it is quite complicated. Does something similar to that. Right, so I've drawn out a little diagram for myself, and what we need is that track to come over to. It does need to come over to here, doesn't it? No, just over to here, because this track will go off towards Stockport and Manchester Airport. And I think what I will do is I'll just keep things simple, and I'll double slip that. And then we do have a bay platform here now. Not sure if it'll be used because I'm not sure how long a 4-car vehicle will be, but I may as well just make use of what we've got, like so. Yeah, because the Manchester Airport to Crewe service will come into this platform. I think it normally does, and then reverse. I think it might sometimes come into this bay platform, but like I said, don't know how long a 4-car vehicle will be, so it's there anyway. So yeah, I've just made things quite complicated. So we've got the Liverpool up-downs. Well, I'm trying to figure that out in my head. I will just chuck this track in here up to Hertford. Making sure 186 is more than fast enough. Obviously, in real life, it is only 125 maximum speed. Don't really need this 4-tracking in, I don't think. Might be useful, possibly. We'll stick with the semaphore signalling, so they are going to be 2 down lines, and then that is your up line. An up line being anything that's heading towards London, and a down line being anything that's heading away from London. And then, so that's going to be You're 2 up. So yeah, a Liverpool service can call through here and call on that platform there. Right, now we do need, so we've got, wow, I think what I need for the next section is to know where the Manchester to South Wales service comes from or calls, because there's like 3 different routes that it could take. Tracks. So I'll just sling that out to there for now, because what happens is you've got like 4 tracks up until about Sandbach, and then after that these 4 tracks split off. One heads off towards Stockport and the other one goes to... No, one goes to Middlewich, which we haven't built. Have we? No, we haven't got Middlewich. And the other one goes off towards... There's a branch to Stockport and then there's a branch which goes to Manchester Airport. So I think what I will do is I will 4-track it out here a bit, and then probably a little bit more investigation will be required to get the actual services in. Like so, we'll place all these streets that we've been breaking up. So country, is that? No. Yeah. I'll do. Make sure there's no pillars clipping into the track, which it does have a tendency to do, which is a bit annoying. We haven't got any girder bridges in the mod workshop, the Steam workshop yet, but I would like, if they do come out, to actually use those, because they do look pretty good, especially on a UK themed map. Yeah, get all these connected back up together, like so. I'm not going to bother with any smoothing at the minute. And if I remember correctly, the actual Crewe station, the actual Crewe kind of main entrance, is actually on the bridge, but obviously we can't replicate that. But we will put that's quite a long span for a an arch bridge, I would reckon. But we haven't got anything. We haven't got any concrete bridges available to us. So I am going to just leave that there, just kind of more for reference than anything else. And just connect that up with a street. Have a little bit of a wiggle in there. Bring that up to there. Can I do that? It's going to do that. Oh no. It's actually done a 90-degree angle from something. That's good. And then again, we'll just bring that down to there. Bit of track over to there. Track. Street even. And I think I will just leave that as a dead end. The AI can do something with that. Hopefully build on it or do something anyway. Yeah, so I'll do a little bit of smooth. I don't like all this where it goes grey, like, or brown. No, I'm pressing the wrong button. Smooth. Couple up with the surface painter as well, I think, at some stage, and just do a little bit of painting. But for now, I just want to get this in. So yeah, I said we weren't going to get much of the West Coast Main Line done in this episode, and I was correct, because Crewe Station took up most of that time. But I think it's worth it to get it right early on in the game, rather than have to come back to it again. I'm not too displeased with that. Obviously we need to get... Obviously we need some track. We've forgotten. So this will be the... up, no, the down. Where's Chester? Chester's over there, so that's alright. So So this is going to be, apparently, this will be a down. Yeah, it will be a down line. And then this will be the up from Chester. And then from here we will have that connecting to the up down, and then we'll have that as well. I think, how's that looking? Actually, it didn't look. Where's the smoothing gun? Just take a good look at that, make sure the junction's all nice and flat and doesn't look particularly nasty, which all looks fine. Now this one is your up, like so, and then this one is, no, that one's your down. Get myself all confused. Right, so that's your down going towards Chester, and that is your up towards London. Can't put any junction or any signals in this section because it will just complicate things and you will get fouling. So yeah, that we'll have to do is like that. Can't put in the signals preceding the down from there because I don't know how long a train, 240 metre long train, is going to be at this stage. I suppose I could do the old trick that I used to do, which is use a station, we'll go one track 240 metres long, and then from there this is the way I do it. Right, so we want to make sure a 240 metre long train coming out of Crewe is clear of that junction before we have a set of signals. So I'll put the station there, and then using my finger, which you can't see, put in 2 sets of down signals, and then I can do that as well. So we've got queuing, because if I had the down signals any closer, obviously if a 240 metre long train came and was stopped here, it would foul all the junctions. So it's out of the way of the points, and we can get rid of no, it doesn't matter so much, I don't think, actually. Possibly, I know what I'll do, is using my ingenious measuring method, and get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Come back in with the station, using my finger again. High tech indeed, and then it was two out there. Bring this point out, see if we can get 145. Tell you what, these are so much quicker than they used to be on the old game, and it's so much more forgiving as well. Normally be like, nah, not doing that. You're not having anything faster than 80. So chuck those in there like that, then I'll have one there, and that should keep the people who keep their eyes on the signalling happy, and that should all be correct. Obviously I've got a heck of a lot more work to do in this area with regards to switching of the tracks, because we've got the Manchester to South Wales services which need to stop at these 2 platforms. Then we've got the non-stop services which are going towards Stafford through these 2 middle platforms here, and then these diverge off to different ways. But in order to get all the switches and that in place correctly, I obviously need to research the services, because this section here where the train can reverse and come back, this section of track I know does go off to Manchester Airport, so that's all fine. Still got a lot of work to do, on the southern exit or approach as well. But we're getting there, I think. I think we've made a good start actually. We've got a nice grade separated junction in here, or flying junction, or flyover, however you want to call it, and we've got that section in there. It's all pretty relatively accurate. The only thing I didn't do is the mid-Cheshire line comes across here, and then there is actually a chord before Greenbank, so Greenbank Station is going to be miles away from Hertford, unfortunately. But yeah, we need to get the West Coast Main, the mid-Cheshire line in, and we need to get a chord in and Greenbank Station, so that's going to be quite a challenge. But I think we've made good progress, especially considering how complicated Crewe was, and considering I made a complete gaff. But unfortunately we haven't got any services in, but we've made a good start on Crewe, so I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to say until next time, bye bye.